Hi everyone. Today I'm going to talk about a book. Well, I'm kind of halfway through it. There's a very interesting book on origins of English language and also mother tongue and how English language developed and how it was pronounced originally, where the words came from, the grammar, and everything. The book is called The Mother Tongue. English and how it got that way. That is the subtitle. It's written by Bill Bryson, which I like his writing. This is actually the first book that I'm reading by this author, so I'm looking forward to. So far, it's been very interesting history, at least to what I was able to read and understand by this author. And by the way, this is the book. So I am going to read one here, which is very interesting about how the words were developed in English language. And on the page 53, the author writes, Norman French, like Germanic tongues before it, made lasting impact on English vocabulary. Of the 10,000 words were adapted from Norman French, some 3/4 are still in use. Among them justice, jury, felony, traitor, petty, damage, prison, marriage, sovereign, parliament, govern, prince, duke, viscount, baron. And then he says, in fact, nearly all our words relating to jurisprudence and government are of French origin, as are many of the ranks of aristocracy, such as countess, duke, duchess, and baron, but not perhaps a bit oddly king and queen. So interesting. So king and queen was not adopted. That was perhaps English words, but all these other words that I just said were the words that came from French language. Although I disagree with the author here. In fact, nearly all our words relating to jurisprudence and government. So he's saying that many words that we use today in jurisprudence is a philosophy of law, and government, we know what the government means, but philosophy of law is those words that we use to talk about law and philosophy of law, jurisprudence, such as rules of the law and statutes, constitution, all those words that were borrowed from French language. Now, what is very interesting about this one is that I like how he lists the words, and I'm going to read them again. He says justice, jury, felony, traitor, petty, damage, prison, marriage, sovereign. So you see, damage, prison, marriage. I mean, is he talking about that when you're married, you're in prison? Or when you're married, you have a sovereign? No, I'm just joking. Well, it's possible, but and there is parliament, government, govern, prince. But what is very interesting, justice, that is a French word, and then jury is also a French word. Felony, traitor, petty, damage, prison, marriage. So even marriage that we have is actually the words from French language that we have. So marriage, it's interesting. Marriage, carriage. You get married on a carriage, which is another interesting word. And I thought that this was interesting statement here, and I thought that share. I will talk about this book more. I just chose to read this part here because it was very interesting to share how these words came about. That English language is made up of many different additions from French, from Germanic, from Norman, from different languages. And also another thing that author says here is at the same time, many English words were adapted into French. Sometimes it is not possible to tell who was borrowing from whom. Whether, for example, we took aggressive from Normans or they took aggressive from us. So aggressive is spelled the way we spell it. It's AGGRESSIVE. and from the Normans, who took the aggressive, which is also same word, but it's spelled agressif, not vie at the end. So from us, or whether English intensity came from the word, whether the English intensity came from word intensity, came before or after the Norman intensité. In other matters such as syntax, their influence was less dramatic. Only few expressions like court-martial, attorney general, body politic reflect the habits of French word ordering. So it is very interesting here. What I'm talking about is that these words are very fascinating, but all these words that were a combination of different languages and prefixes that were used to combine, to subtract. So I will actually discuss this more. I thought I'd read this book to you, this passage that I thought was very interesting. So this is book The Mother Tongue, by Bill Bryson, and so hopefully I'll discuss it more. I am reading it. I'm like halfway through. We'll see what else is in the store. But there's many facts and details about English language that most of us, and I didn't know most of it too. So I would love to share that with you, and we'll see. I'll discuss this book even more. All right, bye.